Hello guys, welcome back to our course for web development using ChatGPT and Rails. In the last lecture, we installed Bootstrap 5 into our React application, and now in this lecture, we will understand the difference between class name and class. Okay, I want to say if you can see in the Sublime directory in the React project, here you can see that to define the table or to describe Bootstrap table strings attribute name, that is class name here. Okay, and in the Rails part, when I open the Rails part, and you can see into the employees.html.erb, so let me open it here. Okay, now here you can see that I used the class attribute. Okay, like class equal to call md3 and so on, and in the table you can see that I use table class table is stripped. Okay, but in the React part, it is class name. Okay, so one might think that what is the difference between class and class in the HTML and class name in the React. Okay, so in HTML, the class is used to define some properties of a node element in the browser DOM. Okay, and using that class property, you can apply CSS rules or some JavaScript rules to that particular element. Okay, and in the React part, we use the class name to do the same thing like we do in the HTML class attribute to apply the CSS. Okay, but the reason is that why we cannot use class in the React format, in the React files, or in the React elements, that React itself is the JavaScript framework, and class is the reserved keyword in the JavaScript. Okay, that's why we need to use class name attribute in the React. Okay, now let's try to understand this difference by asking to the chat gpt. So first go to the browser and open the prompt window. First let me click hide for this. Okay, and now what you need to do, that you can ask to the chat gpt that what is difference between html class and react class name attributes. Okay, when you submit this question, ChatGPT will generate a response for you, and you can go through this. So here you can see that in HTML, the class attribute is used to apply one or more CSS classes to an HTML element. It allows you to apply styles defined in CSS to a specific element on your web page. In the React, the class name attribute serves the same purpose as the class attribute in HTML, but it is not used to specify the CSS classes for a React component. This is because class is a reserved keyword in the JavaScript, so React uses class name to avoid conflicts. Okay, and you already see the difference, and you already see the uses that how we can use class and class name. Okay, in our files. So in the React part, whenever you want to apply CSS rules for an element, you need to use class name. Okay, like this camel casing. Okay, class start with the uh, small letter or lowercase letter, and then name start with the capital letter. Okay, and in the HTML or in the plain HTML or in the Rails part, you need to see that you just need to apply the class attribute like this. Okay, and this is the difference. And if you want to go in the details of it, like with examples, if you want to understand, so you can ask the chat gpt can you please explain about difference with more details and examples. Okay, and for example, if you are not satisfied with the previous response, okay, then you can ask ChatGPT to uh, show you to teach you about the difference between class and class name in more detail, so you can go to the second response. Here you can see. Okay, so here you can see that it is first explaining the HTML class attribute, then it is explaining the React class name attribute. Okay, and it is saying that the thing I previously said, that React uses JSX, a syntax extension for JavaScript, to render component. Okay, JSX resembles HTML, but it is actually JavaScript. Since class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript used for defining classes in object-oriented programming. Okay, so React uses class name instead to specify the CSS classes for component. Okay, and then you can see that how it is using. Okay, and there are furthermore detailed differences. So this is how class and class name works between HTML and React components. Okay, so I hope you liked it. Try to go through this lecture and try to understand the difference between class and class name. Okay, in the next lecture we will meet by using serializer. Okay, and serializer we will use to customize the data format. And in short, let me tell you that what we're going to do in the next lecture. So here you can see that right now we are displaying employee details like first name and last name. Okay, but what if I want to see the first name and last name as a, let's say, detailed information like a full name? Okay, I want to combine these first name and last name attributes value to display the full name of the employee. But right now it is not showing automatically, because whenever you render the response from the API, okay, what it does that it will display all the attributes of the employee object. Okay, so we need to see how serializers work in Rails. Okay, and then we will use that serializer data for our for the purpose of combining the attribute values. Okay, so try this lecture at your end and we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care and stay safe.